Good evening, Woodruff Wolverine fans. Welcome again to the Woodruff Wolverine Coaches Show. My name is Brad Phillips, and we are live here at Tap 3 Main Street, Woodruff, South Carolina, once again for round 2 of the South Carolina High School League football playoffs. Got a special guest with us tonight. A lot of you out there watching, or a lot of you here sitting in here tonight, will remember Coach Charles Molly Hembree. And Coach, I am honored to have you here tonight. Thank you so much for coming and talking with me tonight.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here.
Yes, sir. Coach, I guess I've been around you, known you pretty much all my life. You were a coach. I think you told me you came on the staff here at Woodruff in 1977. Is that correct?
Correct.
So 1977, Coach Hembree joined the staff here specifically for football. And in those days, you still had to coach 2 sports, right? Is that right?
Well, actually 3 sports at the time.
3 sports. So in 1977, if you were on coaching staff, you had to coach 3 sports.
Yeah.
So yours would have been football, baseball?
At that particular time, it was football, basketball, tennis.
Tennis.
Yes.
Gotcha. And, it's that the coaching profession has changed quite a bit since 1977, I would say, right?
Quite a bit.
And Coach, help me out with the progression of things here a little bit. You finished Woodruff in what year? 63? 64. Mm-hmm. And did you go straight to baseball?
I did.
From high school?
I did.
So you got drafted coming out of high school.
Well, they
basically.
didn't actually have draft then. The draft didn't start until 65.
Okay.
And so they didn't have one when I graduated high school, 64.
How did the process work? How did you get seen? All of that stuff that's different from today's day and age. How did scouts find you? Do you remember how that process worked?
Well, I remember how the one that was probably the most interested found me. We were playing in the high school playoffs when I was a junior down in Chesterfield, South Carolina, and he came to the game to actually come and see a player from Chesterfield. And then when he came, he saw me and he liked me and he started following me.
Okay.
And so I signed with them, and that was Philadelphia.
Phillies, yeah.
And the other young man did not sign with them. I don't actually know what happened to him.
Yeah. So 64. That was 64 when you signed with the Phillies, right?
Yes.
And so coming straight out of high school, and you went to. You'll have to remind me. Did you go to Illinois?
No, I went to South Dakota.
South Dakota. Shoot, I knew that. I knew it was one of those northern states up there. And so you've kind of told me the story a little bit before, but leaving little old Woodruff, going to South Dakota, that was kind of like moving to another country, wasn't it?
Well, yes, it was. It was a lot different. Plus, it was probably the first time in my life I'd ever been away from home for an extended period of time.
Right.
And it was different, yes. All of a sudden, you weren't playing for fun. It was your job.
That's right. So what was were they the Phillies in South Dakota? Was it a different club name?
It was the Huron Phillies, Huron, South Dakota.
Gotcha. And you did play at Spartanburg for a little while for the Phillies?
Did play at Spartanburg, too, yes.
How many years were you up there with the Phillies?
Well, I was there in 65.
Okay.
And played there, and then I went to South Dakota.
Spartanburg was first.
Spartanburg was first.
Okay. Well,
yes.
I had it backwards in my mind. I was thinking you went to South Dakota first.
Yeah, Spartanburg was first, and then to South Dakota, and then later on signed with Detroit and went to spring training with them too. So
now, where was their spring training held at that time?
Detroit spring training was at Tigertown in Lakeland, Florida.
Okay, gotcha.
Still is.
Which was way back in the day, and I think we were in Tampa, which is the Yankees spring training facilities, and I had not seen it in person before. But it's a nice pad down there for spring training, I would have said.
Oh, they have a very nice setup down there. It's equal to major league facilities. It's just not quite as big.
Right. Yes, sir. So, Coach, how many years were you total in the minor leagues for baseball?
About 3 years.
3 total. Mm-hmm. And at some point, I think you told me you decided to go back to school. Is that how that worked?
I did. I was out of high school for a few years, and then I always thought I wanted to be a coach.
Right.
And in order to do that, you got to go back to school to do it. It's not
Right.
like today, Sometimes now you don't have to do that, but
Yes,
then
sir.
you did.
Right.
And so I decided to go back to school and get a degree, and so I could actually do what I wanted to do.
Right. And did you finish it in 3 years?
No, I was 4.
Did all 4? Gotcha. So
I'm not like my daughter. She crammed 4 into 5.
oh my goodness. I hope she heard. I'll have to remind her about that when I see her. But so Woodruff, coming to Woodruff as a coach, was that your first stop coming out of college?
That was my first and only stop.
Yeah.
That's the only place I ever coached and spent 30-plus years doing it. Had job offers many times from other schools and actually accepted some on occasion, 2 of them. One time to Hillcrest, one time to Lawrence, but they always seemed to pretend they wanted me to stay, and they'd talk me out of it.
Shoot. I know. I could say from a personal standpoint, Coach, it was awesome to be a student and a athlete underneath you. And I remember a ton. I don't know if they still do it now. I'm not positive, but you were my South Carolina history coach teacher.
Yes, I was.
And I think a lot of times about being in your class, learning a bunch of different stuff about South Carolina that I wish some of the kids nowadays kind of still had that experience, honestly.
I know. I don't hear that often that they were in my class and they learned a lot of stuff.
Well, I'm one of those weird people that I like history. And as a matter of fact, I just watched the President Garfield documentary that's on Netflix.
Right.
Watched it last night. It's just fantastic if you hadn't seen it. So I'm one of those weird people that enjoy that kind of stuff. And I vividly remember being in your South Carolina history class, and it was good times there at the. Well, we were junior high at that time, right? Everybody now knows it at the middle school,
right?
But that was good times, Coach. And I had a message for you. I'll make sure I share this. Ace Hunt told me to tell you hello and to reach out. He's going to reach out to you next time he's in town.
Yeah, he was. He got his start under me, I think, and he's now at Indiana State.
He's at a JUCO school up there now, where his kids are going, and he was previously at Indiana State, and I actually had him on here on the show a couple weeks ago, and he kind of filled us in on where he's been with the sports information director. He told us, he said he remembered a conversation with you in the hallway at the junior high, and you were the one that prophetically announced that was what he was going to do for a living, and that's exactly what he's doing. So he was like Garrett Mitchell in a lot of ways. He knew every stat of every game that had ever been played, and so I thought he would be cut out for a role like that, and lo and behold, he became one. You're right. You're right on the money, Coach. Coach, a lot of times when I have previous coaches here on the show, I pose this question, and a lot of times some people have to you have to edit the answer a little bit in order to share. But give me a memory of working on a Coach Varner. I have one that I'm going to ask you about, but I want you to give me a memory about working on a Coach Varner staff that kind of sticks out in your mind. Either something funny, something that just burned in your brain all these years that you'll remember forever with being on staff with Coach Varner.
Well, if you worked for him, and I say worked, not necessarily with, but for, and you had to learn quickly that if something was always going to go wrong, no matter what, and you had to be ready for that, and you had to be one that could divert from me to them, and I was pretty good at that.
So I got wind of a story that I didn't know anything about until the other day, but maybe you can fill me in. But a lot of us have coined the phrase "La Chesney"
Yes.
over the years as a term of endearment for our friends, the Chesney Eagles. And I believe that it was a chalkboard of some sort that the word Chesney kept appearing on the chalkboard, and someone, unbeknownst to Coach Varner, kept coming in and putting "La" in front of it. Is that how that went down?
That's exactly how it went down.
Oh man!
At the time, they were teaching French at the high school.
French, that's right.
And it became like a running joke. You know, it would be on the board when we would have a skull session on Fridays before ball games.
Uh-huh.
And somebody would always slip up there and write that, and then they would add the L.A. to it. And he would come in and see it, and he'd have a few choice words to say, and always want to know who's responsible for that. Of course, nobody admitted it.
Yeah, nobody would take responsibility.
No, nobody would do that.
But behind the scenes, lo and behold, Charles Hembree probably was at the heart of that, right?
Well, if I didn't put it up there, I was always one telling somebody to do that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Coach. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of things you probably could or couldn't tell us that went on through the years. But I always love to hear a perspective of former coaches that were here at that time. Scott Lawson has all the mannerisms and all of the one-liners that Coach Varner ever said. Mm-hmm. He has them memorized. And I've told him about 10 times that he needs to just write a coffee table book and just call it Varnerisms. And I think he could put one on every page for about 50 pages.
Probably so. There were a lot of them.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of those that went on during those years. But so total you were here how long teaching and coaching all those years?
About 32 years.
And when you quote retired, you didn't actually retire, right? You came back to teach some more. Is that right?
Well, I did retire, and then they asked me to come back and fill in a role at the elementary school as a assistant administrator for a year.
Right.
After I retired, and I did that. And that was actually the last full year that I actually worked. And I did do some fill-in work, like extended, maybe a 6-week period of time or something like that when somebody was out.
Right.
For various reasons.
So, Coach, after your teaching and coaching career, you stepped into a different role here for the district at the district office with the school board. What what compelled you to want to be on the school board? Was there something specific that you wanted to continue to be involved in the district, or what was it that you were drawn to with the school board?
Well, I was encouraged by several people in the district to do that, and so I decided I would enter my name into it, and I was fortunate enough to be elected for 3 times and served 12 years, and enjoyed it.
Right. It's kind of a thankless job some days.
Well, it is.
That a lot of people don't really understand what all is involved in it, and now we're having a watch party here the other week. Phil and Jay were here during the election, so we were kind of having a vote watch party, which both of those guys got elected, by the way, for this next time on the school board. And so now we have a couple of legacy, I guess, if you will, school board members in Phil and Jay. I believe my mom was something to the effect of 20 years on the school board, and now Phil and Jay are kind of jumping in there to take those reins of, just really wanting to be involved in the community and really caring about what we can do going forward, and being a part of I know you were there Sunday at the dedication of the new high school building, which I know you your visionary and everybody else on that board for several years kind of had a vision for what we would be able to do at some point with that new school building down there. And so you got to tour it. What do you tell us what you think a little bit about what it was like?
I didn't tour it. I was only in the gym.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and get somebody to take me through.
Yeah.
And let me get a good look at everything down there. But it
Right.
it looks like it's really going to be something special.
Yeah.
And I think it will be.
Yeah, I think Leanne and I, we walked the distance of all three levels and across the new courtyard into the cafeteria. And I laughed. I stopped Miss Morris and I asked her, I said, Miss Morris, I've been from one end of the building to the other and up 2 flights. Are we going to keep the class change time at 4 minutes? Because I'm not sure you can be in PE on one end of the building and make it to the 3rd floor.
Be hard, won't it?
So I think she's going to be evaluating what they're going to do for changing classes. And, she projected they might have to lose their break time. But I think that would probably be worth it if you got a little extra time to make it between classes. Because there's a lot of real estate to cover.
Yeah, from one end to the other, it's 4 minutes would push you.
Yeah.
With Woodruff High School's strict rule about being late to class, especially.
For sure. Coach, give us a little insight to the growth of Woodruff and all the things that you've seen tons of things in your time here in Woodruff. Going to school here, coming back to work, and living kind of in our community and working for the school board, all those kind of things. Give us a little insight to what you see happening here and in the little town of Woodruff.
Well, I see tremendous growth. That they predicted this many years ago when I was teaching and coaching. They told us then that change was coming, but it didn't ever seem to happen.
Right.
But I think it's happening now.
Right.
And it's going to be. It's a lot different than what it was then.
Right.
The nature of the school is going to be somewhat different, I think, because you got a lot of people coming in from outside of Woodruff. It used to be basically Woodruff people.
Yeah.
And with that, you're going to have different ideas and different ways of doing things. So it's going to be interesting to see what does take place and to see if the Woodruff High School as you know it and I know it, if it stays basically the same in a lot of ways.
Right. Yes, sir. Coach, I was thinking about when you came here in 1977. I'd mentioned to you I'd gotten a couple questions about football specifically, some dates and some event locations, all those things. And you were here during just an unprecedented run from 1975 to 1985. Woodruff Wolverines won 7 state championships in that span of time. As we move into the second round of the playoffs, it's a different era of football. Coach Sloan's here and done a great job with our kids. And is there anything looking back or anything that you would share with our kids and our coaches to say, hey, keep this in mind as we go into round 2. Keep this in mind as you go forward in the playoffs. This is something that maybe you have seen in your career that you'd want to share with them tonight.
Well, we are better this year than what we have been in several years. Mm-hmm. It's very easy for these players and kids to really kind of have a tendency to overlook somebody. Mm-hmm. And this is the playoffs, which every game counts. And if you do that, then it could really hurt you in a lot of ways. You could be knocked out of the playoffs for one thing, but you got to play them one at a time, and don't worry about next week who most likely it would be Belton Honey Path if we get by this week, and they probably will.
Right.
And I know that's a biggie, and it would be easy to start thinking about that as opposed to thinking about Christ Church.
Yes, sir.
But you got to put them out of the way first.
Right. And I believe in a few minutes when we bring up Coach Sloan, you'll probably hear the exact same thing coming from him. all the prognosticators and the reporters and everything can say whatever they want about the next week or the week after that. But the fact of the matter is, you got to win this week.
You got to play one at a time. You're right. Get this one before you worry about the next one. Yes.
Yeah, and as fans and parents and all the things, you want to look forward to the next thing and all that stuff. But in the playoffs, you got to play to win every single week. You have to literally win every single week, or you don't get another week.
You do, and it's easy to let your mind think ahead too far.
Yeah. Right. Yes, sir. Well, that's great advice, Coach. And Coach, I asked you about doing this a couple weeks ago, and we got a date worked out for you to be here. And I sincerely appreciate you coming and taking your time to be here with us tonight. There's a ton of people and a ton of comments that are watching you online right now, and I know that your impact here in Woodruff has been great and vast. Even though you wouldn't admit that or wouldn't own up to that, but there are tons of people here in this town and throughout the years who think the world of you, and I'm one of those folks. And just want to tell you thank you for your dedication and your hard work to this town over the years. And I really appreciate you coming to talk with me tonight, talk football and Woodruff and all those things.
Well, appreciate you having me here.
Yes, sir.
It's
Coach.
an honor and a privilege.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, I appreciate you sharing with us. Everybody out there watching, we're going to take a break for just a couple minutes. And when we come back, we're going to have Woodruff head coach Brett Sloan, and we're going to talk round 2 of the South Carolina High School League playoffs. We're live here at Tap 3 Main Street, Woodruff. If you want to come down and hang out with us, BOGO flatbread. Buy one, get one free flatbreads every Tuesday. And Coach Sloan and I are planning on being here for about 2 or 3 more weeks. That's what I got. We got guests planned. We got 4 more weeks, Brittany says. So we're going to plan on being here for 4 more weeks, Coach.
Well, good.
We're going to take a break for just a couple seconds. We will see you guys in just a couple minutes when we come back. Thank you. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Woodruff Wolverine Coaches Show live from TAP 3 on Main Street in Woodruff, South Carolina. As always, thank you to the staff, Ben Harrison, everyone here at TAP 3 for being so hospitable to us each Tuesday night during football season. We're here once again. BOGO Flatbreads, if you're still hungry and want to jump in, BOGO Flatbreads here tonight. And we also are talking some football again. Round 2 of the South Carolina High School League playoffs here with Coach Brett Sloan. Coach, going into round 2, we got one down coming up with round 2 here, and our draw is the Christ Church Episcopal School over in Greenville. And we did play them in a jamboree kind of to begin the year up at Chapman.
We did.
So we're vaguely kind of familiar with what they do a little bit from the jamboree. They're in Region 2, I believe, if that's correct.
That's correct.
They
finished third in Region 2 behind Southside Christian and
Powdersville, right?
It'd
Yeah,
be Powdersville,
Powdersville
yes.
regions, so everybody has an idea of how that panned out. If I'm not correct, they're 8-3 then? With the win last week?
They're 8-3 with a win last week. They finished the regular season at 7-3.
Mm-hmm.
Then they went to Walhalla last week and won 47-7. So they're 8-3 on the season. So,
well, let's talk about let's just open up a little bit with the game with West Oak in round 1. Just in another absolutely dominant defensive performance. I think it was 79 total yards from the defense on Friday night.
514, is it? 522 yards to 79 total yards for West Oak. So
pretty crazy numbers.
Yeah, it was. It's pretty impressive.
Pretty crazy numbers. And our guys came out and we did exactly what we needed to do to make sure we put that first round opponent away and to make sure we're playing here in the second round of the playoffs. Coach, any notes that you want to bring up from Friday night? Any standout performers? I know you had some players of the week.
Curtis Bell was our offensive player of the week. He did a fantastic job with 2 touchdown receptions. Adrian Hill was our defensive player of the week. I think he had 15 total tackles from defensive end position, which is kind of silly, you know. Mm-hmm. Just a really, really good performance by him. And then I can't remember who our special teams player of the week is. Rico Abney was our special teams. He did a great job. You haven't posted
that one yet, though,
yeah, no, I haven't posted it.
Okay.
It goes. That's one of the reasons I was having a hard time recalling it. It goes out tomorrow. Typically do offensive player of the week on Monday, defensive player of the week on Tuesday, and then our special teams player of the week goes out on Wednesday. That's typically kind of how we try to schedule things on social media. So that post will go out tomorrow. But Rico did a great job on our kickoff team last week. Had several tackles, and he did an excellent job. But it was good to see us. I felt like we got back into a rhythm a little bit in the passing game offensively, which is kind of what our goal was. We kind of knew going in, just based on their defensive structure and some things that were going to give us a heavier box and play some man coverage type techniques and concepts out wide. So we felt like that would be a good opportunity to kind of get the passing game going a little bit, and we were able to do that. We're just trying to get Connor into a good rhythm as we go into deeper rounds of the playoffs, and hopefully be as balanced as we possibly can be.
Yeah.
I thought he did a really good job of that. We did a really good job of running the ball when the opportunities presented themselves. A lot of our run game has an RPO of some type tag to it. So sometimes a lot of those passes we actually had run plays called. Right. We don't even call them run plays. Sometimes we just call them bundles. So there can be a screen, it can be a pass, or it can be a run, depending on kind of how it works out or what the defense has given us. So he did a good job managing some of those things. And our guys did a great job making plays once they got the ball in their hands. And then defensively, it was just another really, really good performance. We were super physical. Sean Graybill did a great job at linebacker. He continues to lead us. and really be the heart and soul of that defense. And he did a fantastic job. He was a little banged up, but you really couldn't tell it by the way he played. And he did an excellent job. He's a warrior, and he continues to do those things. And Buster had a really good game. Several of our defensive linemen played really well. Gunner had a good game. Trayvon, Zai had a good game. A lot of guys played really well for us. So it was a good one to build off of, and hopefully we continue to improve. So.
Yeah, Coach. I know that we were able to get several deep passes completed this week, taking some shots downfield. I know that probably felt good to be able to connect up. I know there's a really good play with Dre.
We opened up with with what we call our deep choice concept, and Dre actually has several options on that route. But he did a really good job recognizing the structure of the coverage and the leverage of the corner, and did a great job making the correct read and execute it. And Connor made a good throw, and then we missed a couple. If you say, what do you need to clean up? We had a couple drops that would have been explosive passing plays that we'll need to clean up moving forward. And we had bad eyes a couple of times in the defensive backfield. So that's something else we can continue to clean up. And but overall, those guys played extremely well too. So I'm really proud of them. And we just got to continue to improve every day. Take it. Got to go 1-0 this week now.
Right. So, and it's fun to watch. We had the opportunity to play a lot of guys that you might consider second team. Got a lot of reps this past week, which is incredibly important. The farther you go into the playoffs, to have guys that have some experience.
Sure.
To the speed of the game, make sure you know how.
Anytime
fast
you can play some of those guys, you're really raising your floor, right? Okay, you're building depth, through experience, and you're raising the floor of your program. Now when those guys go out there and it's their turn, it's not the first time they've ever been out there and played at that speed, and there's not quite the shock of it being the first time. So I was really happy for a lot of those guys that got to play quite a bit in the fourth quarter and things. So.
Well, having Coach Hembree here reminded me of several things. You're getting extra football, you're getting extra practices, you're getting the more years in a row that you have to practice extra days.
Yeah, that's something that
develops players.
Yeah, Coach Bentley always talked about that at Burns. Is if you pull your JVs up in the playoffs, and then if you go to the state championship game, well, that's 5 extra weeks of practice. If you go through and you do that every single year, then that's 20 extra weeks of practice that those guys got to practice football throughout their high school career.
Correct.
If you do the math on that, that's almost exactly an entire season, because that preseason practices plus region practices plus outer region practices, it ends up being about 15 to 20 weeks. So it's invaluable, just the amount that. Think about how many more times they've hit the sled now, or how many times it's a full season worth of practices. So it's going to do nothing but help us in the future and continue, hopefully, to use this momentum that we have right now to build future success. So.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, let's talk about our opponent this week a little bit. Christchurch is coming in, and Garrett is here. Garrett, remind me when we've played Christchurch. So this will be the first official game during the season. We played them 2 years in a row at the Jamboree, I believe. If that's correct.
No, only this year.
One time in the Jamboree.
They played before us last year. That's correct.
Gotcha.
But this is last year we played Walhalla at the McDonald's Classic Jamboree.
So
this year we played Christchurch.
This year with Christchurch is going to be the first regular season meeting ever. Then, they have a history of really good football over there from coming from the 1A ranks. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many state championships they won. Anybody know how many state championships they've won? Several over there that they won in 1A, and upwards of 5.
They have the record for consecutive wins too in the state. It's yeah. So I think they won 55 games in a row. Is that right, Garrett? I think they have the record for consecutive wins. as well, statewide. So a really good football program, really good football team coming in here Friday night. So we'll have our hands full.
Yeah, I know from what I've seen and watched them thus far, they're extremely well coached. They have really good front on both sides of the ball. They're going to be prepared. They're going to do their jobs when they come in here, and they're not going to be a pushover by any means when they come into Wolverine.
Well, I mean, you don't get to be 8-3 by accident. I mean, you won 8 football games, you're a good football team, and they are. They're definitely that. They're really talented at the skill positions. They've got one wide receiver, number 1 Jude Hall. He's committed to Memphis. They've got another receiver, I think, who is going to Navy. He plays more DB, but he plays in the slot too on offense. So they've got a young running back, sophomore, who's got several offers. He's a really good football player.
He looks really good, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, it might be on the whole, it might be the best skill talent we've faced all year. Across the board, they're really talented and they've got really good players. So
right, and Coach, give us a little bit of insight, some keys to the game. What are our keys to the game on offense? When we play the game on Friday here in Woodruff, what are the Woodruff Wolverine keys to the offense?
I mean, we got to run the football. We got to make sure this is. When you get into big-time games, if you can control the line of scrimmage, then you can control the football game, Yep. And we've got to make sure that we're able to run the football, and I would flip that too and talk about defense. We've got to stop the run, I think everything in playoff football starts with that. If you can make people one-dimensional, then it becomes a little bit easier to defend and slow people down, So I would say that would be the first thing. We got to run the football and we got to stop the run. So,
well, on the defensive side of the ball, what do you feel like the defensive keys are going to be as far as stopping their offense?
We've got to, like I said, stop the run, but we also have to affect the quarterback. They've got good skill guys who. They're going to make a few plays, and that's just, they're good players. That's
Correct.
What good players do, and you have to know that going in. What we have to do is we've got to limit how many big plays they make. We can do that by affecting the quarterback and making sure he's not able to be comfortable back there, make him throw off platform, make him move, things like that. When he does that, we got to do a really good job of being disciplined because he's made several throws down the field as a scrambler too. He does a really good job of avoiding the rush at times and then keeping his eyes down the field and finding one of those skill guys, down the field for a big play. So we've got to do a good job of staying in coverage, and everybody's got to do their job and trust the people around them to do their job. If we can do that, then we got a chance to be successful. But I would say affect the quarterback, limit how many big plays they're skill guys. Yeah, look, if they catch a fade ball, we got to tackle them. It's got to be a 25-yard gain, not a touchdown for 60.
Right.
And you line up and you make them snap it again, and make them consistently drive the football. Don't let them live by big plays. And I think if we can do that, we got a chance to be successful. So.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I noticed watching the Southside Christian game. Was the fact that Southside was able to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. They were able to stop the run fairly effectively, and that ended up in a 31-0 loss for Christchurch, which was, I believe, that was their worst loss of the entire year.
Yep, it was.
And it was a pretty dominant performance by the Southside Christian defense that night, and it was evident when they were getting after the quarterback that it totally disrupted their entire flow for their offense that night.
Sure.
Well, as always, not as always. I'm gonna revert back to a couple of games that we've talked about previously this year. We told folks that they better show up because it's going to be an exceptionally good game. I don't think this is any different. We need Woodruff folks to show up, buy a ticket, come watch the game, be loud. This is going to be a competitive football game, and at the end of the night, we're gonna say we told you so, because I guarantee you, Christchurch is coming in looking to bring an upset with them.
Absolutely. I mean, they have a culture of winning. They know what it takes to win, and it's going to. They're going to expect to win the game, and we have to expect to win the game. And a lot of that comes down to how do you prepare. I tell our guys all the time, this is a game of preparation. It's the only game. You play baseball. Once you get into the season, you play 3 games a week sometimes.
Yeah.
Basketball, same deal. Across sports, this is the only game that you really work year round to get an opportunity to play 10 times.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're only guaranteed 10
You're
times.
only guaranteed 10 of them, and you
Right.
work. You work 365 days a year for those 10 opportunities.
Yeah.
And we're blessed and we're fortunate enough. We're on opportunity number 12.
Right.
Trying to make it 13, but it's a game of preparation, and whoever prepares the best, and usually is the team that ends up winning. So
Yeah, and that's the only thing that I hate about football, Coach, is it goes by too fast. It seems like we wait around every year for August to get here, and then it goes by too fast.
With a blink of an eye, doesn't it?
It really seems like it. Well, we're I can tell you from a community standpoint that there's an excitement going on in the community for players. Family, community, everybody's pumped about being in the playoffs and the possibilities that we have coming up. But you got to win this week, you got to win next week, and you got to win the next week. You have to win each week as it comes up, and because there is no next week.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this a little bit last week, but in the playoffs, each week becomes its own season essentially. It's whatever it takes to go 1-0 that week.
Correct.
And then you line up and you regroup and you see who's banged up and you see who's not banged up and you come up with a game plan. And you practice, you adjust however you have to adjust to get people back healthy, and you got to get them to the game and get them ready to go, because at this point of the year, we are who we are in a lot of ways,
Right.
and it's about getting there and having them ready to go and having them fresh and having them ready to get after it. So.
Yes, sir. Well, I have no doubt that this coaching staff that you put together is going to have our guys ready to go on Friday night. I'm looking forward to a good matchup against a good team coming in to Woodruff for the very first time. So we'll have to give them a warm W.L. Varner Stadium welcome that kind of only we know how to do. You can look into that, read into that however you would like, but it's going to be loud one way or the other when they come in, and we'll make them feel as welcome as humanly possible till the scoreboard shuts off. So, but once again, if you're out there listening, make sure you get tickets to the game. Come out, support these guys this week, Friday night, 7:30 here at home. Playing for an opportunity to play at home again. If we win this week, we will host again next week. Opponent to be determined. So there is some few things at stake here. Just as long as we win, we can host again.
That's correct.
It's a pretty big deal in the playoffs to be able to have home field advantage. So you guys come out and support these young men, support these coaches, and be loud and proud as we cheer on our Wolverines this coming Friday night at 7:30. Coach, anything else you want to say before we close out tonight?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, just look forward to a great crowd, and I know it's going to be an unbelievable environment, and everybody bundle up. Starting to get cold,
That's
and
right.
it's football weather. It's when you start getting that nip in there, it's championship time. So
That's right.
It's time to go, and we look forward to going out and representing this community. So
awesome. Well, thanks as always, everyone who has come out here to Tap 3 tonight, and everyone who's watching online. We appreciate you jumping in and hanging out with us. And I'm planning on being here next Tuesday. Already got my guest scheduled for next Tuesday, Coach. So we're going to plan on seeing you guys next Tuesday here live, 7 o'clock from Tap 3. Thank you guys for jumping in and watching as always. And we will see you on Friday or next Tuesday, either way. So go Wolverines, and we will see you next week. Take care.